Okay, how should we start this thing?
I don't know. I was gonna say like before we started the call, there's like a certain amount of improv that you need to do, but having a script might be helpful.
That's why I said we should prepare a script.
Yeah, but past a certain point, you know.
This is gonna be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, it is. I mean, past a certain point, we're just gonna try to be organic with it. So you guys just kind of like bear with us on this.
Okay, so the first bit of news. Outer Wilds has become an Epic Games Store PC exclusive.
So this is not actually the first time this has happened. I know it's happened like loads of times before. So this is just like, it's like a one massive snowball. You know what I mean?
This one in particular has been pretty controversial since this game had a Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, and then that always happens. You piss off the backers, you know.
Because they were promised Steam keys, and that's been taken away from them.
At least it was with Metro, they were going to honor the pre-orders. I don't know what's going on here. I mean, there's this whole thing about them not going after Steam, but then they're going after Steam, it sounds like. So
not the first time, like you said before. Game has become an Epic exclusive. The most famous one being
Borderlands 3, of course, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I hate having to download like another game launcher, you know, make new accounts. It's just like the worst thing ever. I just hate it. Did you hear they're also doing like a sale? Like they have a mega sale going on at the moment, and it's like they're doing like some insane discount. Apparently they're actually paying for some of the discount. They're giving the developers like the full price back or something.
Oh, really? Full price?
Wow.
Yeah. They're footing the bill.
For pre-orders?
Yeah, for pre-orders as well. They're taking like $10 off pre-orders or something. So that means you can get $10 off Borderlands 3 and it's not even out yet. I don't know. Seems insane to me. Because, you know, the Steam summer sale is coming around the corner, so that's what this is about. But yeah, at the same time, I was also reading that some publishers are actually taking their games off the store because they don't want to be part of the sale.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because there was like the company Clay, who's doing like this game called Oxygen Not Included. They've taken their game off because they don't want it to be discounted or something like that. The way I hear it, like if you want to pay for something on the mega sale, basically you pay like a discount. But what Epic does is that they pay like the usual amount, like the full amount to the developers. So in fact, they're like taking on the discount. They got that Fortnite money.
So they can afford.
Oh yeah, you bet they can afford it.
So for developers, Epic has been a great thing, but for consumers, it's been a hassle.
Well, it certainly seems that way. I mean, I don't game on PC that much, so I'm not like, I don't really complain about it. I'm just like sitting there with my PlayStation, my Switch, and I'm happy. But yeah, speaking of partnerships and consoles, Sony and Microsoft have basically announced that they're doing like a new partnership, something to do with cloud gaming, which is kind of impressive. I was thinking like, I still remember back when they released the PS4, it was like a huge console war was still like at full strength. Now it's kind of gone away a bit.
I feel like it's been gone away for a while now.
And then now this is partnership. It sounds kind of vague. I mean, you know, call me back when you're doing like a console together or something like that.
Yeah, they've made it clear this partnership is not any sort of merger. It's just them setting aside their competition.
Which is nice, I guess. We want developers to get along with each other.
Is it because they want to compete against Google's reported new service?
Yeah, I've actually been reading rumors that the PlayStation 5, there's like a rumored patent or something like that they're going to have like a game streaming service to compete with Google. It's just a rumor, but it sounds kind of interesting. I didn't think that the Google Stadia was actually like competition. Because I know it's like a streaming console and I have like the worst internet ever, so I'm never going to get one.
No, it doesn't use a console. It's basically, for those who don't know, Google Stadia is a new game streaming service that lets you play games over the internet on your browser. Just, you know, Google Chrome.
Yeah, but then you need a really good internet connection. So
yeah, or so you're just going to get lag.
Yeah, speaking of lag, there are also rumors that BioWare's new game Anthem is actually going to go to free-to-play. I did not have such a good time with Anthem, I'm going to be honest.
But no, this rumor has been going around since before launch.
It's still a rumor at this point. It's not something I see happening. They're not like quite that desperate yet.
They have that FIFA Ultimate Team money to keep Anthem alive, so I think they're okay.
I remember when we reviewed it, I was not like 100% impressed by it. There was like nice stuff in it, but it's just not a good game at the moment.
There was missing stuff as well.
Oh, there was a lot of missing stuff, yeah.
A lot of what was promised before never made it through into the final game.
You know, I was reading like some of the early drafts they had, like for the original concepts of the game. And it sounds actually like a really cool concept. Like, I would not mind playing a game like that.
After seeing that the game has become such a disappointment for EA financially, there's no way in hell it's going free to play.
Speaking of going to hell, Robert Pattinson is Batman. What do we think?
I am very skeptical.
You know, personally, I know like people give him a lot of shit for doing Twilight, but I know he's actually done like some really good movies after that. But at the same time, I don't really see it just yet. Krishna, what do you think?
I just want this casting process to get over with. I just want Matt Reeves to pick a guy, go with him, make an official announcement. I'm tired of this, honestly.
We don't know it's over. There's sources that are claiming it's been officially announced Pattinson's Batman. There are others saying, no, it hasn't yet. He's just on the short list alongside Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys. I like Nicholas Hoult. He's actually really good in the X-Men movies, but I don't see him as Batman either. So they're just picking, like, to me, they're just picking between two people who don't look like Batman.
See, both of them are also really young, so it really makes me think if they are... Like, we already knew these movies were going to be prequels, but I didn't know that they were going to go so far back. Or are they just going to look really young, but they're really a bit more mature than they look?
I gotta say, I'm a huge fan of Batman, right? And I love the concept they're going for. It's like a detective story. I don't know how this is going to go. And speaking of not knowing how things are going to go, what do we think of Will Smith singing?
Oh, yes. The recently released clip.
He's singing Prince Ali. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I just watched that clip this morning.
Yeah, he sounds so...
To his credit, he's trying, you know? He's putting everything he's got into it.
I have no doubt he's very passionate about the project. I'm sure he's loving every second of it. But it's just not being executed that well.
I was like watching the animated clip, like, you know, the clip of the animated film where they do Prince Ali. And the thing that really impresses me about that kind of Disney early style animation is that you have all these like super cool like effects, like the visual effects. You know, he's like dancing, transforming into different things. And it's like animals and fireworks and all that kind of stuff going off in the background, right? And that to me kind of makes the movie. In this like live action thing, it's like realistic. I'm not seeing like any of that. And to me, that's kind of disappointing because you like take the soul out of the movie, you know what I mean?
See, I don't know about his singing career that well. I know he was a rapper at one point, but yeah, he just sounds really off. And it just doesn't seem to fit that well. But it is only one clip. We haven't seen the whole movie yet.
Yeah. We're going to review it. Full disclosure, we're going to review it. Keep our minds absolutely like 100% open, okay? We have to be like objective about this. But like, I just don't see the need for Disney to make these movies in the first place. Like, I went to watch Dumbo. I was not impressed by that either.
They're rebooting, remaking a bunch of things. Also, now they're doing another trilogy of Star Wars movies. Do you really think we need another trilogy, though, after 7, 8, 9? I'm
kind of torn about this because, you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Like, huge Star Wars fan. Like, the biggest Star Wars fan. I sound like Donald Trump when I say this.
I'm huge.
Just huge, yeah, just a tiny bit. But, you know, the thing about Star Wars is, like, I watch pretty much anything with, like, a Star Wars label on it. But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, like, after Episode 9, the Star Wars is going to be the 9 episodes for me. Like, I'm going to watch the rest of the stuff, but... You know, the nine episodes is going to be my Star Wars, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm not hearing good things about the writers behind it. I know it's like D&D from Game of Thrones, yeah.
Which has done pretty well for its first 7 seasons.
Dude, Game of Thrones has not just simply done well. It is like...
But ever since it has gone off the books, and now the writers don't have or source material to adapt of, now they're like kind of forced into doing something more original. It seems like I've been watching Game of Thrones season 8, and so far I'm pretty disappointed, as I'm sure most people are.
I know I'm not like a Game of Thrones fan, but like, Krishna, are you a Game of Thrones fan? I don't know. I'm not personally, but I've just been like seeing it going down in quality.
Well, I don't watch Game of Thrones, so I don't know. What's the appeal with that show?
It's old medieval times, fantasy, magic, knights.
I know people like the fantasy, that kind of style of fantasy. It's like got politics in it.
And yeah, it has its own politics in it. The political stuff was really interesting. In season 8, it just feels so rushed.
You know, to me, it seems like the classic case of basically, you know, we build up this great show, tons of content, tons of fantasy, ton of characters, everything into it. And now they've come to like the end and they don't know how to finish it.
They had the books to go off of and adapt it. And they did that wonderfully. After the books were done, they completely lost track of what they're doing. I'm sure they think they're doing fine. There have been rumors the actors themselves are disappointed from the last seasons, which is why I'm really worried that they're gonna be writing the next Star Wars trilogy.
Because you see, I remember hearing that Rian Johnson was going to be doing another trilogy, and I was like, personally, I like The Last Jedi. So I'm looking forward to what he's going to do. But hearing D&D and are in charge of like the next ones, I'm kind of like,
Now, Rian Johnson will be taking over the trilogy afterwards. So he'll be doing 13, 14, 15.
Did you guys see the Kevin Feige AMA on Reddit?
Yes.
He's gone through some interesting stuff if you're interested in the future of the MCU. I remember he was saying the reintroduction of the Mandarin. That's interesting.
Mandarin has been in the MCU, or has been hinted at, since Iron Man 1, the Ten Rings, right? That's an organization that's related to the Mandarin. Iron Man 3, he showed up, but deeply disappointed with the twist that he was just some British actor, trying to get paid.
To me, the criminal part of that is they wasted Ben Kingsley. He's such a good actor. It's insane they just wasted him.
Nah, I don't think they wasted him. I mean, he went from threatening and serious to really comedic, and I liked it.
Yeah, but what I didn't like is that they kind of made the character a joke.
Nerds. Who cares about the comic books? It's all about what's happening on screen, man. This is about the general audience.
They already fixed it. They had the YouTube short with Ben Kingsley. I think it was called All Hail.
Oh yeah,
All Hail the King.
All Hail the King. Yeah.
Yeah. Not completely sure on that. I'll check that.
Do an impression, right?
Yeah. It was a great short. Yeah. By the end, they revealed that the real Mandarin still exists, and he's gonna have a talk with his character about the identity theft.
But yeah, the thing about what they're doing with like the Mandarin is really interesting because the AMA himself, in it, he actually sort of gives like a really interesting insight into how Marvel does their thing. And he was saying like, he talks about how they go through their outline process. Like they plan the next few movies, and they have like a longer term schedule that's kind of like roughly defined. And I found that really interesting because, obviously we just had Endgame. It's like this huge event, like the end of our current era in the MCU, whatever. But I was kind of disappointed. Like as a fan of the Netflix Marvel shows, I didn't hear anything about them. I'm hearing stuff about the new Disney Plus shows. Like we're talking like the Wonder and Vision one and the Loki one. I'm not hearing anything about, Iron Fist, Daredevil, even like Jessica Jones. I'm like, I want to hear more.
There were rumors that Kevin Feige was never a fan of the Netflix shows. I think it was because it was never in line with the plan he wanted to do, which is fine. I think they should have just left the Netflix shows alone, let it be part of its own universe, even if it wasn't part of the MCU. Like they should have just cut it off and let it be its own thing.
Which actors are you gonna miss? Come on.
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox is amazing.
What I like about Kevin Feige and how he plans out the MCU, he has a bunch of movies planned, and he gives a lot of creative control to the directors and writers. Of course, there's some guidelines they have to go through, but in the end, it's up to the directors what story they want to tell, and then they're kind of like passing the ball to the next director.
Interesting times at the MCU coming up. Anyways, now is the time our weekly review roundup. So, what did we do this week?
We just reviewed a free PlayStation Plus game for this month called What Remains of Edith Finch.
Now, I'm going to be honest about this game. This was to me, this was the highlight of my week. Because obviously, like you guys know, we do 3 reviews every week pretty much. And sometimes, it's difficult to pick. But this week, for me, this was the top. I've been wanting to play it for a while now. And it's like, a lot of people don't like the walking simulator games. I don't know if we call them those, but something that's really interesting about it. And I was like really captured and engaged by it. It's only 2 hours long, and I was like led on this journey that was just somehow so profound. And it was like they used the gameplay really well. What is there is not a lot of interactivity, but it's like just enough. They use it in such different imaginative ways, like something that comes out of a book.
I definitely agree, since I think What Remains of Edith Finch definitely falls under an example of games as an art.
Oh yeah, 100%. So, if you guys have your PlayStation Plus and you haven't downloaded, we can absolutely recommend this game because it is really, really good. Abzu. Obviously made by the same people who did Journey. Everyone knows Journey.
Well, at least the same art director. I don't know if the entire team were the same.
This was kind of disappointing to me. Obviously, it's very abstract in the same way Journey is. I'm sure a lot of people like it, but to me, it always felt shallow. Sorry for the pun. Because, it's very abstract and it's really, I don't feel connected to the world. So, it's very pretty. It's like a screensaver, though. So if you guys like that kind of game, that's the reason I could recommend it. But other than that, not really worth your time. So, yeah, disappointment of the week.
Yeah, we had to get on a call with Tim so we can keep him awake so he can finish the game Abzu, despite it being only 2 hours long.
Maybe. Maybe it's just me. I've been playing too many of these walking simulator games and I just got tired. But maybe that's part of it. But still, I don't think I would have enjoyed it that much.
I played Abzu a little bit in the past as well. I don't remember it being that fun. I got quite bored of it too.
So, anyways, it has some cool moments, but unless you're really, really in love with Journey, don't get it. Something you should definitely go watch. John Wick 3, everyone. What did we think?
I loved it. I think it was better than the first two. They definitely surpassed, the action scenes. They topped it from what they had in the last two John Wick movies.
It's been a while since I've seen a John Wick movie, but I was really impressed by the way they just they saw what they did in the previous ones. They tried to go to the next level with it. I mean, obviously we can't talk spoilers, but there was some seriously cool scenes, and I just love the cinematography and the choreography. They brought all of that back. And it's just for me, it's right now the best action movie.
I definitely had reminders of Blade Runner with the neon signs lighting the streets.
Oh yeah, we put that in the review because I just love that scene of him in the rain. It's my only complaint is that they didn't have the dog in it enough. But I'm okay. Who doesn't love dogs, though?
You know that scene where, spoilers, everybody, if you haven't seen John Wick yet, please, turn away for about a minute, okay? Mute this thing. So, you know that scene where that he puts the dog in the taxi and then tells the driver, okay, get him back to the hotel, right? Make sure he's received by the Continental. I feel like that was an overt message to the viewer that, okay, in this one, no dogs are gonna die. John Wick doesn't have to deal with a dead dog in this thing.
As someone who has pets, I hate it when they do this. I know it's deliberate. It's to get you to hate the villain. And it's very, very effective at doing that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Back to out of spoilers, now I'm talking about the first John Wick. They were never gonna actually kill the dog in the first film. Everyone thought that it might be too harsh and the audience won't like it. But I think the directors and the writers convinced the producers, at least I think it was the producers, that we need to kill the dog so that everyone can be on John Wick's side and understand that all these people need to die for killing his dog.
Let me just say, 100% works for me.
Oh yeah, it works for me too.
100%.
They all deserve to die for killing a cute little puppy.
I don't have dogs. I don't have dogs. I have cats, and it's still super effective. At the beginning, you're just gonna be why is he killing all these people? But then, after you kill the dog, as a pet owner, you're kind of no, I get that. That's understandable. Reasonable reaction, even yeah.
That's why viewers can just watch John Wick just kill hundreds of people on screen and then be okay about it.
Something I don't see mentioned a lot about John Wick is the humor behind it. There's some very subtle humor in it, and I quite like that. It's not too serious. It's there's some funny bits in it. But
in the end, John Wick is a mindless action film and is just appreciated as an action film.
I know it's an action film, but I felt like I was going to see the ballet or something. It's got that kind of grace to it. Seriously good. If you guys haven't seen it, I can definitely recommend that one.
It's essential for you guys to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like John Wick 1 is about heart. John Wick 2 engages your mind instead. You get into the world more.
Anyways, so that's our breakdown of the week. Latest news, latest movies. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram or Twitter, please do so. That's where we post our weekly stuff. And so stay tuned.
We'll be trying to pump this out every week. It's very new, so sorry for any delays. It's kind of new to me as well. I'm the one editing this, so we'll see how this goes. Okay.
All right. See you guys next week.
We'll see you next week.
Well, guys and girls. I want to be inclusive.
We'll see. See you people next
Yeah,
week.
it's okay. People know.